You think being a good person makes you wealthy? Wrong. Being zero on the scale is not being positive, it is just not being negative, and that difference is costing you everything. The absence of evil is not the presence of good. Most people walk around thinking they deserve wealth because they are not bad people. They do not steal, they do not cheat, they do not lie. Congratulations, you are at zero. You are neutral, and neutral people stay broke. Neutral equals broke. Today I am going to show you 5 habits that separate wealthy men from everyone else. And I promise you, not a single one of them is what the internet gurus are selling. These are not morning routines or cold showers. These are fundamental shifts in how you operate as a man. And if you do not adopt them, you will spend the rest of your life wondering why money flows to everyone except you. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let us begin. Be proactive. Here is the first habit wealthy men understand that nobody else does. Being proactive is not about working harder. It is about caring about people before you need anything from them. Think about this. When was the last time you reached out to someone, not because you needed a favor, but because you genuinely wanted to know how they were doing? Caring about people is not weakness, it is your greatest investment. Most men sit back and wait for opportunities to find them. They scroll through social media. They complain that nobody gives them a chance. But wealthy men plant seeds years before they need the harvest. They remember birthdays. They make introductions. They show up when it is inconvenient. Show up always. A study from Harvard Business School found that 80% of jobs are filled through networking. But here is what they do not tell you. It is not the networking that matters. It is the genuine human connection. People can smell manipulation from a mile away. When you actually care, doors open that you did not even know existed. The wealthiest men I have studied all share one trait. They built empires on relationships, not transactions. No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent. But caring about people is only the beginning. Because what happens when the people you care about are threatened? Be dangerous. Now, before you misunderstand me, let me be clear. I am not telling you to become a threat. I am telling you to become capable of being one. Capable. There is a massive difference between a harmless man and a peaceful man. A harmless man is not peaceful. He is just weak. He has no other option. A peaceful man has the capacity for violence, for aggression, for destruction, but he chooses restraint. A harmless man is not good, he simply has no teeth. Jordan Peterson said something that changed my understanding of masculinity forever. A good man is not a harmless man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control. Wealthy men understand this instinctively. They negotiate from strength, not desperation. They set boundaries because they can enforce them. They protect their investments, their families, their vision, because they have the capacity to do so. Strength under control. When someone tries to take advantage of you in business, do you fold? Do you smile and accept it? Or do you have the backbone to walk away, to push back, to fight if necessary? If this is making you see your finances differently, hit like and subscribe, because we are just scratching the surface. The next habit might be the one holding you back the most. But being dangerous without this next quality is just brutality. Get educated. Your brain is a muscle, and just like any muscle, it either grows or it atrophies. There is no middle ground. Every wealthy man I have studied treats education like compound interest, small daily investments in knowledge that multiply exponentially over time. Warren Buffett reads 500 pages a day. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. Elon Musk taught himself rocket science from textbooks. The brain compounds knowledge like a bank compounds interest. But here is where most people get it wrong. They think education means going back to school. They think it means getting another degree or another certification to hang on the wall. That is not what I am talking about. I am talking about deliberate, strategic learning, reading books that challenge your worldview, studying industries before you invest. Understanding psychology so you can read people and situations. Learn daily, compound weekly. The average American watches 4 hours of television per day. That is 28 hours a week, 1,460 hours a year. Imagine redirecting even half of that time into learning. You would become an expert in any field within 2 years. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest, but raw knowledge without the next habit is like a loaded weapon in the hands of a child. Stay calm. Stress is not just bad for your health, it is catastrophic for your wealth, and I can prove it. When you are stressed, your brain activates the amygdala, the fear center. Blood flows away from your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational decision-making. Stress literally makes you too stupid to make good financial decisions. Think about every terrible financial decision you have ever made. Panic selling stocks during a crash, quitting a business too early because of anxiety, taking a low-paying job because fear told you something was better than nothing. Fear. Every single one of those decisions was made under stress. Research from Yale University showed that chronic stress reduces the volume of gray matter in the brain regions linked to self-control and decision-making. You are literally shrinking the part of your brain that builds wealth. Stress kills wealth. Wealthy men are not calm because they have money. They have money because they learn to be calm. They meditate. They exercise. They create systems that remove chaos from their lives. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify in separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. But calmness combined with knowledge creates something even more powerful. And that brings us to the final habit that ties everything together. Become wise. Knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in a fruit salad. Wealth is knowing exactly when to apply what you know. And that distinction is what separates the educated poor from the wealthy wise. There are millions of brilliant people working jobs they hate, earning a fraction of what they are worth. They have knowledge, they have degrees, they have expertise, but they lack the wisdom to apply it. Knowledge plus timing equals wealth. Wisdom is knowing which battles to fight and which to walk away from. Wisdom is knowing when to speak and when silence is more powerful. Wisdom is knowing that being right matters far less than being effective. The smartest person in the room is rarely the wealthiest, because wealth does not go to those who know the most. It goes to those who know what to do with what they know. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. And here is the brutal truth. Wisdom cannot be taught. It can only be earned through experience, through failure, through paying attention to the patterns of life. Every wealthy man has a library of failures behind him. The difference is he extracted the lesson from each one. But wisdom is not just about learning from mistakes. It is about something even more fundamental. The zero trap. Let me bring this back to where we started. Most men are living in what I call the zero trap. Zero. They are not bad people. They are not cruel. They are not dishonest. But they are not actively good either. They are not proactive. They are not dangerous. They are not educated. They are not calm. They are not wise. They are just existing. Existing is not living, and neutral is not positive. Think of it like a number line. -10 is the criminal, the destructive man. 0 is the average man who does no harm but creates no value. +10 is the man who has cultivated all 5 habits. -0, positive. The tragedy is that most men think reaching 0 is an achievement. They think not being bad is the same as being good, but it is not. The hardest places in hell are reserved for those who in time of great moral crisis maintain their neutrality. Society has convinced you that mediocrity is safety, that being average is acceptable, that as long as you are not failing, you are succeeding. That is the biggest lie you have ever been told. Every day you spend at 0 is a day your potential wealth is dying. And what makes this even more dangerous is the next habit most men ignore. Proactive wealth. Let me give you the practical blueprint for proactive wealth building, because understanding is not enough. You need action. Every single day, wealthy men do 3 things that poor men do not. 1, they reach out to one person they can help. 2, they learn one new thing about their industry. 3, they eliminate one source of stress. That is it. No complicated systems, no expensive courses, no guru secrets. Just 3 simple daily actions that compound over time. Small daily disciplines multiplied by time create massive results. Think about what happens when you reach out to one person per day. In a year, you have built relationships with 365 people. Some of those relationships will become partnerships. Some will become clients. Some will become mentors. One person per day. Now combine that with learning one new thing daily. In 5 years, you will have consumed over 1,800 pieces of new knowledge. Your brain will have compounded that information into expertise. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. And by eliminating one source of stress each day, you are literally rebuilding the neural pathways that allow you to make better financial decisions. But here is where most people fail, and it is not where you think. The destination. If you do not have a destination, How do you know when you have arrived? This is where 99% of men fail. They say they want to be wealthy. But ask them what wealthy means to them and they go silent. Is it $10 million? Is it time freedom? Is it owning a business? Is it generational wealth? Is it the ability to never worry about bills? If you cannot define your destination, you will wander forever. Most men chase money without knowing why they want it. And when you chase something without a clear purpose, you will either never catch it or catch it and feel empty. Define your wealth. The wealthiest men in history did not stumble into fortune. They sat down, defined exactly what kind of wealthy man they wanted to be, and reverse engineered the path. A man who does not know what port he is steering for, no wind is favorable to him. Rockefeller knew he wanted to dominate oil. Carnegie knew he wanted to revolutionize steel. Buffett knew he wanted to compound capital forever. They did not just want money, they wanted a specific kind of wealth. So sit down tonight, write it down. What does your wealthy life look like in exact detail? Because what comes next is the habit that accelerates everything. The integration. These 5 habits are not separate skills. They are one integrated system. Proactive, dangerous, educated, calm, and wise. 5 pillars of the wealthy man. Remove one and the entire structure collapses. A proactive man without education wastes his connections. A dangerous man without calmness destroys everything he touches. An educated man without wisdom hoards knowledge he never uses. A calm man without productivity sits in peaceful poverty. A wise man without danger gets exploited by everyone. All 5 habits must work together, or none of them work at all. This is why most self-help advice fails. It gives you one piece of the puzzle and pretends it is the whole picture. They tell you to meditate, but never tell you to get educated. They tell you to network, but never tell you to become dangerous. All 5 or none. The wealthy man is a complete man. He is caring but not naive. He is strong but not cruel. He is learned but not arrogant. He is peaceful but not passive. He is wise but not paralyzed. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. And that integration, that balance, is what creates true, lasting, unshakable wealth. Not just money, but the kind of wealth that money alone can never buy. Begin the journey. Here is the final piece, and it is the one that most men will hear and ignore. You have to begin. Begin. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, not after you finish that course or read that book. Now. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but you must actually take it. I have met thousands of men who understand these principles intellectually. They nod along, they take notes, they share the video, and then they go back to doing exactly what they were doing before. Know, do, become. Knowing is not becoming, doing is becoming. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not filled with more information. It is filled with action. Daily, consistent, uncomfortable action. Tonight, before you go to sleep, do one thing, just one. Reach out to someone you have been meaning to connect with. Read 10 pages of a book that challenges your beliefs. Write down your definition of wealth. Start. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Every second you hesitate is a second your old programming wins. The man you want to become is waiting for you to take the first step. Do not keep him waiting any longer. Let me leave you with this. You came into this video thinking wealth was about money, but now you understand it is about becoming a complete man. Proactive, dangerous, educated, calm, and wise. 5 habits, 5 pillars, 1 transformation. The world does not need more harmless men sitting at 0. It needs dangerous men who choose to be good. It needs educated men who have the wisdom to use what they know. It needs calm men who channel their peace into decisive action. Complete man, complete wealth. You now have the blueprint, not the blueprint for making money. The blueprint for becoming the kind of man that money flows to naturally, because wealth is not something you chase. It is something you attract by the person you become. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. If you made it this far, comment complete MAN if you are ready to move from 0 to 10 on the scale. Your mind is either programmed for wealth or poverty. Now you know how to reprogram it. If this exposed something you needed to hear, hit subscribe. There is more to uncover.